Greetings and salutations, this is Scrap Mechanic and I am Spastic Cube, back again on a creative world. Previously, I was dealing with pulsing pistons on a hinge. As you can see, it's a lot more compact than it was, but I'm not liking the fact that these pipes still show the flashiness of the logic. So I think I'm going to replace those pipes with these, because they are the same size as these blocks. As an example, I can show you here and here, assuming I can get up there. What I'm talking about. I think there was a hinge involved in there somewhere. Let's go one of those, and a bearing, just because I can't remember whether I had a bearing on that or not. No, I don't think I did. So let's put this over here, this over here, weld them together and see if that makes a difference. I like that a bit better. Here you will see if I put the thicker pipes on and weld, it's a little less obvious than that. So yeah, let's leave that behind and see if making it more compact even further, like this, where I've got two bearings on there to go to where they pretty much go around the logic instead. The problem with this is you switch it on and even at the lowest settings you've still gone from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 and 7, and having it this close means that you end up jamming and it won't come back, and you haven't even pressed the button yet. If you press the button, you're going further than the hinge would even allow, and that's not going to work. The only way to reset this is by putting it on the lift and then it fixes itself, but as soon as you use it, so this is too compact. Maybe if we add a bit of space between the hinges, See, this is 2 away instead of just 1, and there's 1 pipe worth between the two at a range of 1. You still get movement, but it doesn't jam as much. If you do set it to 2 and 2, you've just added too much to this section, and you can get it to jam, but I forgot what's on there. And you can end up going the wrong way. Accidentally. What you could do is put blockages, pardon the pun, which means that, oh, hang on. You could put blockages, obviously in the way of the logic, so that it's unable to get past the what is it called? Collision that the pistons seem to be lacking. But that just means that you're willing to jam your mechanism. Yeah, if you've got more space between them, instead of 2, I've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is this? 1, 2, 3. Got 4 in there in a way. But these can then be set higher, and as you can see, I've put the blockage in case I want to go higher than that. Let's go to 3 and see if that makes a difference. Every time you add 1 in the piston range, because you've got 2, you're technically adding 2 blocks each time. So it has to be in an even intervals, despite the fact that you've got 1, 2, 3, 5 blocks to start with. It goes from 5 to a maximum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you extend them fully, oh, it's a bit more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. From 5 to 11, because you've added 6 extends when you activate the piston. You then have quite a bit of an angle change and as far as I could tell, it went past 90 degrees. But what if you set up a connection between the two? Oh, right, I'm not on the lift. Let's try that again. Welding this part to that part and forcing them to go at the same pace. Because they're not matched this way, you could possibly find different settings altogether. That doesn't look like it's working. Oh, well, so it has to be an even number of additions to your that's on 2, that's on 3, that's on 3, that was on 4, now it's on 3. Let's see if removing 1 makes a bit of it. No, it doesn't. No, you can disappear for now. I don't need you there. So it looks as if it has to be balanced. Because it doesn't seem to work otherwise. But if you're closer and you leave it on shorter settings, technically you should be able to. I think these might be on too fast. No, seems like they're at the right speed. You just need to lengthen the hinges and you should be okay. Oh, I think I loaded this down. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Here's what I'm planning on doing with it. This excavator was made by David Bagetta, and it uses quite a bit of logic that I kind of don't understand, because he's somehow connected his WASD via a switch to other logic and then controls his excavator's arm using switch 3 when activated. To use W as forward and back on the arm, and A and D to control the other part of the arm. But I think he's controlling them with bearings instead of pistons, like the actual in real life version of this excavator would. Yes, he's given it the aesthetics of pistons. I think that is probably just for looks. You know, he's got 4 of these, probably a couple of long pipes painted yellow. That's not the way I want to go. And his logic automatically sets it up from the way you have to build straight in scrap mechanic, which is what my problems pretty much consist of when it comes to designing this type of thing. And by the looks of things, he's not using the mod for tank tracks. He's just using a couple of engines for tank steering, maybe on a single wheel with bearings to pipes to keep it from falling over or whatever. While you're pressing left and forward, the logic of the left motor keeps you from going forward, and if you're pressing right, the reversed bearing controlled by that, which is probably somehow using an A.D. converter somewhere in here, means that the outer bearing counteracts the action of the inner bearing while you're trying to turn. And if you're going in reverse, the addition of the reverse means that double bearings have to be moving forward or back for the bearings to actually give you any traction. So forward or reverse on W and S control whether you go anyway. Oh, okay, I can turn on the spot using A or D. But as soon as I press 3, W becomes controlling the arm and S goes in reverse, and A and D go in and out respectively. So while you're laying with this excavator, it's still controlled by bearings rather than pistons, and that's why I don't really want to use it like that. What I want to do is make the actual piston do the work that it's supposed to. But to do that, obviously I've got enough space to put in a 5 or maybe even 6, depending on whether I want to even up the length of the controller piston. Obviously, making it to size, I'd have to figure out how to do angles and that type of thing without actually doing angles and that type of thing. You know what? I think I'm just going to give this up and contact David somehow to give me pointers on the logic used in this for switching from WASD controlling the movement of the vehicle to moving the arm, and in my spare time try and figure out how to use it using pistons instead of bearings. For now, let's give it up as a bad job and play around with other workshop items. Let's see, I think I downloaded quite a few nice things. Wood Pain does some really good things. Scrap Mechanist, who changed his name to Scrapman, you may recognize this as his vertical takeoff or landing vehicle, VTOL for short. I've set up my hotkeys to the same settings as he has, and can therefore fly his. We're going to be in follow cam to be able to fly so that my mouse is left behind me. Man, this thing's difficult to fly. I suppose you have to get used to Scrapman's controls. I think I was going to visit this ooh, concentrate. Difficult to fly, goodness. Let's land around about here. Quite a few times I've found items that I like, that being one of them. The rest of the time I make my own. This is my version of Khan's buggy. I think Shadowed suggested this color scheme. Looks a bit too much like the Irish flag to me. But then again, we could make our own design. What do you think of the color scheme? Orange, white and green. Looks okay to me. Let's turn this thing over and see what's happening. Man, this thing's difficult to flip. I've added a few wheels to make it more stable and altered the way it looks from Khan's version, which I downloaded off the yeah, you can pretty much see the difference for yourself. Khan's version is in my opinion a tad unstable for my style of driving. Now that I'm trying to flip it, it's not working. Oh, there we go. I flipped it. At least I didn't hit a tree. That's Scrapman's department. Now, this is just me playing around with the piston setup. And I decided, okay, I'm going to save on switches. put them all here instead of out there. And this is how I've come up with, I think those might be a little too fast. Yeah, definitely too fast. Let's see what happens when we slow them down. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need to slow these down because they're already slow. And I can tilt left and right on this seat and drive on this seat. I think it was another YouTuber that gave me this idea. Let's show it off. As you can see, until you actually lose grip entirely, these pretty much stay on the ground. I think it's some sort of buggy rotator. I can't remember what it's called, but the front just has regular suspension. The back I've put suspension on, but I think I may need to stiffen it up. And obviously tank steering, no, not tank steering, just regular one engine per set of wheels. I think I might end up putting an engine per wheel to give it more power, but that might be too much power. As it is, I've got these set quite high. But the point of it is that I was planning on using this. So let's go 2 and 4 and 3 and 5, keeping it level if you press 2 at the same time, or if you need to tip it up or hold it up even. Wait, I've got an idea. Let's try and get this into the buggy that I left over there and see if we can lift it up. This is going to take some maneuvering. Yeah, because it looks like I've high centered the buggy as it is. And this may be our rescue vehicle. Let's line up without crashing into it. Nope, that's not going to work. Oh, there we go. Lined up. Nope, that's... Hey, who knows, maybe it will work. Let's get in there as much as possible. 5. Lifts it up there. 2. Lifts it up further. Ah, that's why I had these pistons on fast. The speed is somehow connected to the strength of the pistons. So let's raise it up to where I had it and see if we can lift this thing. I may need to go closer in. Well, on the plus side, I am getting it off the rock. And the downside is, let's move it into a different place. Maybe, oh, wrong seat. Let's try this one instead. Yeah, This should be easier now. Slowly get into position. What's happening now? Yep. Maybe change the position of this. Nope, too much. That might suffice. Let's see. Let's get it in through the bars. No, that didn't work. Try again. This may cause me a bit of lag. As it is, I'm already at 20 frames per second. Down to 19. I probably shouldn't be doing this. Okay, so that's connected. Slides down. Oh, look at that. I can lift it up. But that's about as far as I can go. And as soon as I let go, it starts dropping again. Because these things aren't very strong. Let's try one more notch each. See if we can flip this thing. Yeah. Okay. Attempt number 2. Come on, slide it down. Nope, doesn't seem to be doing anything. Maybe if we extend the length of the pistons. Or maybe it's this thing is just too heavy. Okay, let's drop it down again. 5 first so that we get it in position. 2 causes it to slide. And again, that's as far as we can push it. Maybe I need to switch that off for now. The way down. Back up. Hopefully I haven't glitched through or anything. Okay, so now let's see how far it'll go up if I press. Okay, so it would have taken it past the point, the maximum point. Speaking of, I put blockers that look a little nicer on these pipes. Just out of curiosity, what it would look like. Let's line these up so that they look a little nicer. Maybe I should go from the other side. Yeah, let's try it. Oh, wrong seat. Let's try that again. You know what? I'm gonna do it the cheaty way. It's gonna be way quicker this way. Put that over there. Plonk this over here. Yeah, so that they're facing each other. Can I get them lined up? Almost. Let's go over, not too far over. Let's try there. Now, position it first. Oh, look at that. It actually goes to the right height. But for some reason I just missed. It's 20 frames per second is messing me around. Missed again. Need to back up a bit. Let's line up correctly. Maybe add a bit of height. Not too much. At least I can adjust with a short end of the stick. Yeah, that should do that. Wish me luck on going there we go. Lined up on the front. Right. Let's try this again. 5 to bring it up. And 2 to lift. That back end seems to be quite a bit heavier. Nope, I can't seem to lift this thing. These pistons aren't strong enough. Let's give up. Put that over there. And delete this one as well. Right. Maybe we'll do something else next time. Any suggestions are welcome. Feel free to post them in the comments section down below this video. That's Spastic Cube signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.